Joe, I've got a bunch of questions right on these cards. You're not getting away with anything here, okay? Ready? Before we jump into the details, tell me really quickly, who are you and what is FlyGuys, your company?
I'm Joe Stough, Chairman and CEO of FlyGuys. This is my third time leading a venture. My first was an operational excellence software company. We scaled to 180 countries and 24 languages and before exiting in 2010. And then my second was a food delivery app that we grew from 0 to 200 million in revenue and public on NASDAQ in 5 years. And FlyGuys is the fusion of those two playbooks, marketplace scale and operational excellence. We have over 17,000 FAA-certified drone pilots. They use our pilot app like an Uber driver uses theirs to accept missions on their phone and capture data using their own drones. It's that kind of data that fuels AI models on a nationwide scale.
So what you're telling investors here is you've done it before, you have some proof that you have executional excellence, you can get it done. That's what I got from that answer.
Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Okay. I've seen drone companies come and go. Most burn investor cash, and they fail. It's an old storybook, you know, there's a lot of drone bones out there in North Dakota. You just raised $13 million in a Series A1 that we led, that's the Wonder Fund, through Wonder Fund, but tell everybody why in the world even anybody needs this service.
Heck yeah. Well, first of all, we're not really a drone company, Kevin. We're a reality data company. And reality data is the physical world captured digitally. Think about aerial imagery, LiDAR scans, thermal images, accuracy down to the inch or even a few millimeters. It's reality data that powers AI models to track construction progress, detect crop diseases, inspect energy infrastructure, respond to public safety risk, and many, many other vertical market use cases. And all that data is the new oil, and we're the pipeline. That's $1 billion problem, and we solve it.
So you're actually an enabler that lets companies that need this really valuable data get it through the use of drones that they don't know how to operate, basically.
Essentially.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now, reality data, that buzzword you just used, AI, everybody drops that. Sounds like every other pitch deck I've ever seen. Where's the proof that any of this narrative is real?
Well, let's just look at what our customers are doing with reality data. Construction firms catch $1 million grading or layout errors early. Farmers detect crop diseases weeks before they can see it with the naked eye. Utilities find sagging power lines before they can cause wildfires. Solar energy companies run thermal inspections on massive solar farms to find failing panels before they lose efficiency. Major retailers monitor stormwater retention ponds to stay compliant and avoid costly fines. And commercial real estate owners survey roofs and parking lots across entire portfolios, hundreds at a time, to prioritize repairs and control costs. Now, this isn't hype. It's our pilots in the field and our AI partners delivering insights like this every single day across all of America.
So you're combining AI with what the pilots are getting using drones to grab this data. It sounds like it works for every sector. This is about saving money by catching errors and mistakes early.
Ahead of time.
Got it. Okay. So you're just a middleman. That's what that all sounds like to me, connecting companies to pilots. So what value do you really add?
Well, first of all, our pilots are everything. This week alone, it's 100 degrees heat here in Dallas. And around the country, upwards of 2,000 missions will fly. That's hundreds of pilots, real warriors out there capturing data for our AI partners as you and I sit here in the AC. Our job is to set them up for success. A person to talk to when they hit an issue, fast, reliable payments so they trust us, more work so they can grow their local business. We want them to be raving fans of FlyGuys. If we empower them, we win, and so do our customers. And as for value to our customers, when our AI partners need data, their software asks our software for it. It's called an API, an application programming interface, a connection between two software products. So this allows our AI partners to rapidly consume data, which means revenue growth and value for their shareholders.
So you're writing code for their dashboards. You're adding value there.
We're writing code that allows them to access data at scale because their software, when they get an order of, let's say, 300 sites from Home Depot in Southeast America, they get that order all at once. All those sites immediately are ingested into our platform and deployed to maybe 300 different pilots. And the process of capturing data happens in parallel, and they can get that data back instantly from our platform.
I'm liking this story. Getting better by the minute here. All right.
That
Now,
was the
of course,
plan,
I
by
have
the
to
way.
ask you reality. Drone startups fail constantly. Why won't you? There's just a zillion drone stories, particularly in North Dakota and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They come, they go. You're still ticking. Why?
Of course. Well, two reasons. The market strategy and then our team. The market's massive, billions in unmet demand for reality data across many different vertical market use cases like construction, energy, ag, and dozens more. And we don't get bogged down in just one or a few of these vertical markets like many of the other companies that have tried this. We're spread across all the verticals. Our business model, our technology is designed to address all the use cases across all the verticals. And that reduces risk to a downturn in any one industry and gives us more stable revenue. But most importantly, we've done this before. So myself and two others, our CFO and our CMO, are the ones that helped to grow the food delivery app from 0 to 200 million and public on NASDAQ in 5 years. And that's our marketplace strategy background. And then myself and one other, our chief product officer, grew the operational excellence software to 180 countries and 24 languages. That's our large-scale software and operational excellence background. Led by this amazing seasoned team, FlyGuys is the fusion of those playbooks, both marketplace scale and operational discipline. And that's why we'll win where others failed. So we've done this before.
You've got the right team, is what you're saying.
That's correct.
And you know drones. You're the drone dudes.
We have, and that our COO ran a drone company for 10 years, and so he's the drone dude of all dudes in our company.
King dude. Okay, give me the numbers. What's the total addressable market? What's your traction towards getting that? And why did we, and I obviously know the answer to this, I love the story the first time I heard it, and that we, when I say that, that's wonderful, and put $3 million into your company. So you better not screw this up, big boy.
Nice. Yeah. Well, let's just look at the couple of examples to get a sense of the total addressable market. It's a multi-billion-dollar total addressable market. So let's start with agriculture. In agriculture, there's 300 million acres, 300 million crop acres just in America. And at $3 to $4 an acre as a reality data capture price, that alone is $1 billion TAM. And then now let's look at commercial roofs. There's 60 billion square foot of commercial roofing in America. And at 1.5 cents per square foot, that is roughly $1 billion TAM. You add construction projects, solar assets, cell towers, and many other vertical markets, and there's your multi-billion-dollar total addressable market. It's highly fragmented at this time, but FlyGuys is growing rapidly into it. We did $4 million in 23, roughly $10 million in revenue in 24, and we're tracking for high double digits, and maybe we'll scratch out another triple-digit growth year this year in 25. The $13 million Series A won with $3 million from your Wonder Fund, and thank you, by the way, Kevin, for that, fuels product acceleration and scaling our marketplace. Our goal is 1 million missions annually, and that's mid-9-figure revenue potential.
So you're getting diversification of revenue risk by servicing multiple sectors. It's not just ag.
That's right.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a single individual vertical market that's worth more than roughly 10% of our total business. We have about 4 that are right around 10%.
That's my investment philosophy, diversification. I love that. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Sounds like you're doing that. Now, scale usually breaks quality. The bigger you get, you start getting a little loose around the edges. So how do you keep it all together?
Yeah, from prior experience, man, we learned that there's no easy button for scale. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a deep experience in operational excellence, and that's where OE comes in. At Syntex, we ran safety and quality operational excellence systems globally for companies that I mentioned earlier: ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, LyondellBasell, some of the world's leading OE companies. We took the lessons learned over 25 years of working with them, and we built our own operational excellence system in FlyGuys. So every mission deviation feeds into a continuous improvement loop. So every defect is analyzed, the root causes are identified, and processes refined. So that's why AI companies can trust us to scale. It's quality and consistency.
Most of your customers now, are they all AI companies?
In most cases, yes. But we also have large-scale enterprise customers who obtain the data from us directly to feed into their AI models for different purposes. So for example, a large retailer can order comprehensive data capture of their facilities from us. then use it to feed AI models from AI companies with different specialties, like one for the roof, another for the pavement, another for the facades, the landscaping, the stormwater assets, and on and on. But for the AI companies, as customers directly, we're really their partners, partnering with them in their workflow to deliver products to their customers. They connect directly to our cloud-based software platform via an API that I described earlier to ingest reality data on a nationwide scale into their models for producing the deliverables for their customers. We're the conduit connecting the users or the creators of AI to AI-ready data streams anywhere in the USA.
Well, give us an example. Why would AI be involved in rooftops?
Okay, for annual inspections for a company like Home Depot or Walmart, a retailer that has to inspect their roof once a year to look for defects, also to do inventory, to inventory what's on the top of the roof. And they'll fly a drone at an exact height and with a camera at a very specific angle to catch every aspect of the roof, and then run those images, might capture hundreds of images, and then run those images through an AI model that identifies the defects and might even create a work order. And then the AI partner of ours shares that work order with potential vendors that might go in and fix the roof.
Got it. So where do you go from here? What's next to keep growing?
Okay, worldwide, that's the quick answer. So we're built to scale globally. We're built to create the world's leading reality data marketplace. And our goal is 1 million missions a year. Our world is being digitized, and FlyGuys is prepared to power that transformation. But just as important, we'll keep investing in our pilot success. Those guys are the warriors in the field, and they're out there in the elements, flying missions every day. If we make them successful with support, pay, and opportunity, FlyGuys wins, and so do the AI companies we serve. Then obviously, so will our investors like you, Mr. Wonderful.
Well, I like that the best. I love world domination. That's very good. Thank you. All right, last word. If all of these dreams come true, give me the one word that most explains why you succeed and all your shareholders succeed.
After all this, one word. Well, actually, it's pretty easy. It's culture. The biggest common denominator in my prior 2 ventures was culture. And FlyGuys has cultural principles that are intentionally defined. And the first is the golden rule. That's humility and respect. And I'm the most proud of the fact that FlyGuys is a group of really good humans by design. My proudest moment is when a customer pulls me aside. Like yesterday at our headquarters in Lafayette, Louisiana, a manager from John Deere who had flown in for the day pulled me aside and made a point of telling me how much he enjoys working with our people for the last couple of years. And that just really hit. That's my favorite thing to experience in a work day. We have 4 other cultural principles, but that one's the foundation. If we treat each other this way inside the company, we'll set the tone for our culture and how pilots, partners, and customers are treated every day. That creates a feeding frenzy and will be the key to our success. So the one word, it's culture.
That John Deere story is amazing because I'll tell you one thing I know from being an investor for decades. If you can get a customer to be your advocate, that's a big deal.
Yep, and that's
like
an
that
explicit
guy,
strategy on our part. I mean,
John Deere guy's your advocate.
Yeah, he is, amongst others. You know, we do a good bit of work with the John Deere just purchased an AI company that was a partner of ours. Now that gets us a really good access to the full scope of demand from John Deere. But we have a number of other companies whose leaders have done the same thing.
And if you're a drone flyer, a pilot, and you know of the company and you know others that are working and they've been treated fairly and they get paid well, word gets out amongst the community, right?
Exactly, and that's the goal, both on the supply side with pilots and on the demand side with the different AI companies and customers.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things about a growing model. It's self-fulfilling in the sense it gets scale, others tell others, and boom, the next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire.
Yeah, and we're hoping you tell others. And
well, I've learned a lot more today. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm just wondering why Hollywood hasn't come and hit on you. Because I've worked on a lot of films and television shows that got pretty crappy drone pilots.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that's where our chief operating officer came from.
So he have a reason for staying away from Hollywood.
Well, he flew a helicopter. So he was a helicopter pilot for several years, flying for movies in Hollywood.
But they don't use that anymore. They use some big birds.
And then he flipped to drones.
Yeah.
And when he flipped to drones, he decided to use drones for a lot of other reasons and started a drone company. And then I actually hired him away from his own drone company. But yeah, he started in Hollywood.
Yeah, well, that's where I first saw drones. And they even put them in studios when they don't need sound. So let's talk a little bit about how you get the word out to investors. What do you think you have to do so more people know about you?
To raise more money, or how?
Well, you're always raising money when you're succcesso,
Yeah.
just at a higher and higher valuation.
Right.
And I want to see that.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully we did some of that today.
I think that's likely an outcome, whether it was intended or not. We have about 30 million total capital in the company, and we're in a position where we possibly don't need another penny. We could be self-sufficient and self-funded going forward. I think there's members of our board and investors that have been in it for a while that would probably prefer that. But in the event that we do need to raise more money, I think I got involved as an investor. I came in 2022 as an investor and chairman of the board, and then a year later stepped in as CEO. And the reason I invested and then the reason I stepped in as CEO were the things that I shared with you today. They had a huge addressable market, the vacuum that's created by having that huge market so fragmented, and there's an opportunity for someone that knows how to scale technology and scale a business and create a culture that attracts both the demand and the supply side and keeps people focused. It's an opportunity for us to create real value. And I think those are the things that will raise more money if we had to.
I agree with you. I think it's a fantastic story, and you've simplified it today. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Stop listening to me and get back to work.
Yeah, that's right. You're my boss, too.
I like to think of it that way.
Yeah, of course.
That's great. Well, I think we did pretty well there.